Good afternoon and welcome into the Sansom Sports Media podcast. Have a very special episode for you guys today. We're joined by the new athletic director and VP at Northern Kentucky University, Mike Odom. Mike, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Hunter. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining. I know Norse fans have been asking me. I think I've gotten like 10 or 11 texts that first day that they announced you were going to be here if I was going to be able to talk to you. And I know making this work while you're trying to move and get ready to start is a lot of time-consuming stuff. So I appreciate you making time for me today. I know we talked a little bit of it offline, but what are your first thoughts on NKU? What drew you to the job?
Yeah, I mean, first thoughts, there's so many exciting pieces to it. But I would say what drew me first off is I would say right out of the gate is the belief and the vision and the excitement and the energy from our president, Katie Short Thompson. Like her excitement level for the potential of NKU and in particular NKU athletics is something that was exciting for me as an athletic director to have a president that's so excited about athletics and about just the overall direction of the university. I believe in her vision for NKU, and I think that was an important piece to it. I would say another piece was I was in town. I knew the position was open, and I was in town for the Big East baseball tournament, and we had a rain day that Friday of Memorial Weekend. And so my dad and my son were with me, and I said, "Hey, let's go down there and let's get out of this hotel." And we were up in Mason. I said, "Let's go down there and have lunch and just drive around and check it out, scope it out, kind of thing." And I think from there, I saw the incredible facilities and Truist is incredible. Soccer, baseball, softball, tennis getting done here. All of those things, being able to see those had me excited throughout the process. And then when I got to campus, getting to meet all the people and all the talented coaches, and a couple of our student athletes gave me a tour of all the facilities. It was great to connect with them. So that's a couple things that drew me in. I think going back to the original vision, the main thing is the main thing, right? Student athlete success. NKU believes greatly in helping students succeed and prepare for the next chapter of their lives. And kind of on the athletic side, to help student athletes do that is another exciting piece to me. And I would say lastly, getting to work with, you've got the internal athletics group, you've got all the external constituents, alumni, donors, fans, season ticket holders, and then you've got the campus side. And I'm excited about being a partner to all of the other cabinet members on campus. And athletics plays a role, but campus has all these other departments, and we're one big cog in the wheel that makes NKU great. And so partnering with folks in student life and our provost and all of those talented folks too was something that continued to draw me in and excites me, to today.
Absolutely. I graduated from NKU in 2020. I was there from 2015 to 2020, and during that time, they were headed to the NCAA tournament, and Drew McDonald and all of the legendary NKU guys that we talk about now were there, and students were packing the arena, and it was a lot more fan engagement. And things have, of course, with COVID, everything changed. Everything took a 360. That's not just unique to NKU, but what are your priorities? And I know I'm speaking mostly on basketball. I'm not trying to slight any of the other programs.
Yeah.
It is a basketball-focused university. But in general, what's your plan, or what are your ideas for hoping to bring more people, not just to NKU men's basketball, to the women's team, to soccer, to baseball, and all the other great programs that NKU has?
Yeah, I'm going to draw heavily on so I kind of came up through marketing and fan experience and ticket sales and group tickets and all of those things. So I'm going to draw into my toolbox and toolkit, if you will, of things that I've done both at NC State, Wake Forest, and here at Creighton, all three, which is where I am today when we're recording this, is sitting in my office in Omaha. And so drawing on those experiences at those other places. But one of the things that I've enjoyed about being at Creighton here these last 3 years and being the men's basketball administrators, I've traveled with the team everywhere. And so I've been to every Big East venue. I take notes every time I go. What's something that, an example would be, we went to Seton Hall this year. They did a really cool in-game promotion. And I went back on Monday and said, we need to do this. Let's order this, blah, blah, blah. And by the last 3 or 4 games, we had another promotion that we were doing that was unique to our fans and that sort of thing. So I always want to keep getting better and keep improving. But I think a big emphasis on getting in the community, getting to know people, and, leaning into group tickets, and then also what's the in-game fan experience look like. So taking inventory of where we are and where do we need to be. And I know student attendance is important. How can we generate some more excitement with that group? And we'll be talking to folks on our end. But, I told some of the group when I was there going through the process, I was at Wake Forest for 14 years. Wake Forest is the smallest Power 4 now institution in college athletics. And we played, and they still play at an arena that's got 15,000 people. They have 6,000 students, and all the students move away, and they're not in Winston-Salem. So we really relied heavily on the current students, the grad students, but also the community members. Like, that was our formula, was if you're a fan if you're not from that area, we wanted you to be a Wake Forest fan. So kind of, again, taking some of these experiences and trying to bring them into NKU, but it takes hustle, and it takes hard work, and it takes making phone calls and going and shake hands and introducing yourself. And I'm ready to do all those things.
I'd love to hear that. And I know Norse fans are very excited. I mean, this summer in general, I mentioned that it's been a solid summer, of course, headlined by the hiring of you and being able to start the process with a new AD and just starting basically from scratch and starting over again. But we've seen NKU's men's and women's teams out in the community. I mean, they had the event last night where they were at Ryle High School. And then on top of that, the decrease in season ticket prices. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen, I cover national basketball, and I don't think I've seen decrease in season ticket prices. Just those two things. Can you speak to, I know those were before you officially took over or maybe even had a hand in them, but what those mean and like what the fans could really look for going forward with that?
Yeah, I think it shows, and again, credit to our president, our athletic department, and Coach Horn and everybody. Like, I think the concerted effort is, how can we get more folks there? And I think we're going to put on a great experience, and I think we want to make it easy for fans to come. And the parking is easy, the in and out is easy, the level of basketball is really, really solid. And I know there's a lot of other opportunities to see other basketball in the area, but we think we got it. Well, we have a pretty good product, family friendly, and good quality. And so I think the decrease, it's an effort to draw people in, bring people back in an age where, I went to Jimmy John's today. It was about $20. Like, being able to have folks come in and feel good about the value that they're getting, the experience they're getting, sitting lower level, like all of those things are going to be points of emphasis and talking points as we, continue to look to sell more season tickets. And I think, the Norse in the neighborhood, I give them a ton of credit for doing that this summer and getting out and teaching young kids and the back end of it will be more folks that feel a connection to NKU and feel a connection to our program, men's, women's program, and they're going to want to come to games. And I think all of those things are, each thing is one step closer to getting the arena filled and getting the atmosphere to where we want it to be. But it takes nights like last night, Norse in the neighborhood, and it's going to take, again, I said it a minute ago, phone calls and emails and getting out and meeting people and calling for group tickets. All of those little steps and levers are going to need to be pulled in order to get this where we want to be. And it takes hard work and hustle. And I give both the teams credit. They're working right now, and I can't wait to get there on August 3rd and get working myself and add to it.
Absolutely. I have not seen a ton of community involvement and a ton like this from other programs. I mean, just in general, you don't see that. So I love that they're doing these things. And the team, I've been able to be lucky enough to talk with several of the players on both sides, men's and women's, and they're excited about the product that both teams are putting out on the court this year. They're very excited to have everything moving in a great direction. And they love going out to Ryle last night, and they love doing these things. So I think they're all great things. I know Noah, my counterpart, spoke with Coach Horn this week at the media availability for practice, and Coach Horn was excited about having you being able to collaborate and elevate that fan experience. So the positive energy and everything that I've seen this offseason, I've covered NKU for 5 years. This is the first time I've really seen this positive. We're headed in a great direction. There's a lot of community involvement. I have people reaching out who may not even have attended NKU or been to a game before that are like, hey, this is really fun. And I will tell you all, like, I went to every Xavier game and most of the Cincinnati games last year. There were more close games at NKU than there were at either of those two arenas last year. We're talking final possessions, overtime, that kind of thing. So it's a great area to be in. And like you said, affordable, family friendly. I love that.
And we're going to look to do more student promotions and more like games in between timeouts and things like that, that hopefully, leave you with a smile on your face, and all within the framework of the experience. We're not going to go over the top and do something that turns you off, but we're going to kind of do some fun things that leave you with a smile on your face, hopefully after a Norse win too.
Absolutely. Looking towards, I know we've talked a lot about basketball, but baseball and softball have both been very good recently. Women's soccer has also been good. Any specifics towards keeping that success? I know in the NIL and transfer portal era, mid-majors have it hard. You're at Creighton. I know Creighton is a Big East school. It's a little different, but kind of similar basketball focus, but have to keep other schools. Creighton's been great at baseball and other sports as well. What are your plans to help keep that success sustained?
Well, I think first of all, the again, credit to those coaches because they've done a great job, and I know we have a new softball coach who's just getting going. But I think my long-term vision. Somebody asked me the day of the press conference. They said, "What's your what if you could do anything? What would you want to see happen?" I said, "Well, I'd love for all of our teams to hoist a trophy at the end of the year, and then we watch all their seniors go across the stage and get their diploma on graduation day. Like that'd be the best, right?" And so, we're in this business because we want to win. And I think. I talked about passion, integrity, and excellence during the press conference and on a couple of things right after that. And the excellence is like we want to compete and win championships. And so we've got to, I'm going to go in and assess where we are and where we want to be and how can we get there and what are the things we need to do to help softball win it again and get baseball, in the NCAA tournament again and those sorts of things. And it's in the ever-changing world, you've got to look in under different rocks for advantages. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking forward to looking all across the board on how can we get our advantage at NKU, and I mean that in the right way, of course. But how can we do things that move the needle that help those programs, get to that championship level. And again, we have a great group of coaches, and I can't wait to work with all of them to help problem solve and kind of figure out today's world and how we can best position their program to tee them up to, I guess, pun intended, hit a home run.
Yeah. Perfect segue right into that. That was well done. All right. So not NKU related, but just getting to know you a little bit. What's your favorite sport to watch?
My favorite sport to watch is probably, I love watching Saturday night college football. I grew up watching a lot of college football as a kid, but I would say probably college basketball more than anything. I grew up wanting to play at NC State and be a player there. And I grew up when the ACC was kind of in its golden age, when every team, you could name every starter on all 8 ACC teams, and then Florida State joined and they were the 9th team. And so I would say college basketball. I grew up, going to Reynolds Coliseum where NC State played. Jimmy V was the coach back then. And, it was this little crackerjack box of a place, and it was magical to me. And so I fell in love with college basketball in particular. A little, probably that edges it out over the fall Saturdays.
Absolutely. College basketball obviously has a very special place in my heart, and a lot of Norse fans agree. So that football, there's something about a Saturday football. It felt this morning, it was 58 degrees when I went to work. It felt great. It felt like a football Saturday, but there's just something about college basketball. I completely agree.
Well, and after being in the Big East the last 3 years here at Creighton, and seeing the culture at all of those schools, you know, being at Xavier a handful of times, it's awesome. And so I've it's hard to beat, you know, Selection Sunday. It's hard to beat those, you know, that those the Thursday and Friday, and of course the Tuesday and Wednesday in Dayton right up the road. Like I can't wait to get in the middle of all that, and again, with the goal of helping our team have their name called.
Exactly. Absolutely. Final question: have you had Skyline yet? I know you've been in and out of Cincinnati. I know you have not. You don't live here yet.
I have not had Skyline. I have had Graders a handful of times. When we were at the Big East baseball tournament, our hotel, there's a Graders in the parking lot. So like right after every game, I think I gained 10 pounds both years that I went to Mason for the Big East baseball tournament from Graders right after every game. So, but no, I have not had Skyline yet. But the women's basketball staff came up to me when I was there, you know, a couple weeks ago for the press conference and everything. And they're like, all right, first couple weeks, we're taking you to lunch and we're going to figure out what your order is. And we'll get you locked in so that you can answer this question a little bit better here in 3 months.
Absolutely. I might be the first, but I will definitely not be the last one to ask you that. I can promise. That's a staple with everybody in the portal era. I'm asking all the players. So you have to see it. It's a staple, but I just want to say that I greatly appreciate you making time for me today. I know you're busy getting ready to move. I start on August 3rd. I do greatly appreciate it. Is there one final message for Norse Nation as we wrap up?
Yeah, I would say one final message is like I want to dream big. I believe in the people there. I believe in our president, our cabinet, and our coaches and our student athletes. And I think we're in due time. We can accomplish some awesome things. And I would love to be the gold standard of the Horizon League, where every other AD is pointing to us and going, we need to be like Northern Kentucky. And so that's my goal. And I want to talk about dreaming big and be a part of helping make it happen, play a small part with all the talented people we have to help make it happen.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much for your time. And Norse Nation, I'll be back. I've got a couple other things planned, so you'll see me soon. Thanks, guys.